Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Shelf. I'm your host, Ryan HD, and this week, what we found off the shelf was...
Come and sit on Alice's knee.
Sons of Steel, released in 1989, directed by Gary Chieti? I don't know, Chieti Mundi. Starring Rob Hartley, who is not an actor like most of the main characters. He was the head, or the lead singer of a band called Black Alice, which is the name of his character in this movie, and basically, I'm just gonna go right off the bat, this was not my thing. Definitely not. It wasn't very good. I mean, hell, if you're a fan of 80s dad rock, though, this is gonna be perfect for you. It's basically just a fucking 90-minute long music video, essentially, because the story is paper thin. Hell, it's not even paper thin. It's like fucking as thin as oxygen. There is nothing there. It is just, I don't even know how to describe it, because it was just so dull. And this is my theory. Now, maybe it's not true, but I think it is. I think the only reason the director made this movie was because he wanted Black Alice, the band, to get back together and make music for the movie because he liked them. Which I'm not, like, throwing shade or anything. I'm just saying he never made another movie after this. I mean, he directed, like, a TV show after it, but he never made another movie. And I don't think he will again. And it's just, so the plot, essentially, the plot of the movie is this guy named Black Alice who runs this, like, rebellion / peace-bringing rock band, and he is sent to the future by the evil fascist government that, like, rules over the world, right? And he's set there, and he sees that in the future, you know, the world's gone to shit, and a random ferry that just collided with a submarine caused nuclear fallout, which, I'm not going to comment. If it takes that little amount of force to cause a nuclear fallout, then I'm surprised it didn't happen earlier. Anyway, so he goes in forward, and he sees the world's, like, terrible, and it's all gone to shit, and it's the apocalypse, and he has to go on a journey to go back to the present so that he can change the course of time so that a nuclear fallout doesn't happen. And he has to fight monsters and evil bad guys along the way. Now, from my description, it sounds interesting, but it's really not. It's really not at all. And, like, the whole movie, it just drags on and on and on. And the whole time, I'm like, Jesus Christ, when the fuck is this movie gonna end? I was so frustrated and just exhausted. This was like a 90-minute movie, and it felt like it was 3 hours long. It just, nothing, there was no substance, right? I know what they were, I get what they were trying to go for, right? Like this 80s style, zany, post-apocalyptic movie, but I've seen, like, the 80s zany action movie done better. I've seen, I think, like, movies have done this vibe better, and even though they're also not that great, they're fun. I think that's the one difference this movie doesn't have that those other ones do, is that those are fun. This one is not. This is just a slog, and there's nothing to enjoy about it, unless you have really low standards. And I'm not judging, I'm just saying, if you like this movie, you might have low standards. Either way, I'm sorry to be blunt, it's just the truth. However, I do think that this film I don't know, I just, when it ended, I was like, thank God it's over. And even the ending confused me, because I didn't even know what the fuck happened. So, the whole movie, they're trying, like, well, not the whole movie, it was like the last whatever, and he was trying to stop the nuclear fallout after he got back to the present. So he got on the ferry that collided with the random submarine that caused nuclear fallout, and he gets into a fight with his band members because they think that he's bad now, and they don't really understand the context of the situation, really. And then, like, they're just whatever, and they're just, like, meandering and dragging on even more. And then the ferry collides into the submarine and blows up and kills everyone. And then a random face that's been appearing at random intervals throughout the movie, who I think is supposed to be, like, a narrator, but he's not really. He only appears like 3 or 4 times the whole movie, and he doesn't even really narrate anything. There's no narration over the actual movie. He just pops in to make, like, comments and describe things that you've already seen, right? And he pops up and he's like, is this really how the movie's gonna end? The heroes exploding? And he's like, here's the happy ending. And then it's just them not being dead in the ferry, and they're, like, celebrating. And it says the beginning. No, it was the end, because there's nothing after this. Thank God. Yeah, I just genuinely do not understand. I mean, I guess it was, like, trying to cater to the youngings of the time in the 80s, right? It was trying to cater to the youths, who are no longer youths, but they were at the time. And I think it was trying a little too hard to be, like, radical and cool. And it just fell flat on its face. I genuinely think that it's not even, like, I mean, it is pretty god-awful, if we're being real. There's, like, the writing is terrible, the directing is terrible, like, pretty much everything about it is terrible. I mean, except for, like, the aesthetics. I think the visual effects are fine. I liked the aesthetics of it, right? I liked the style of it. I thought it was interesting. But, you know, style over substance, not great, right? I would rather have substance over style any day, right? And I just think there's nothing really like, to sink your teeth into in this movie. And I just think overall it really let me down, because as I described earlier, it certainly sounds more interesting than it is. I was tricked. Like, look at this cover. Like, this looks really interesting, doesn't it? It fooled me. They bamboozled me, they swindled me. I don't even know. This was probably one of the most uninteresting movies I've seen in a long time. And it's just genuinely, I'm at a loss for words. And I'm speaking words right now, but I'm just trying to formulate proper sentences to describe this movie. And it's hard to, because there literally is not even that much to talk about. There's, like, a looking back on thing on the DVD where the director talks about stuff, and he talks about how they this and that, and he just kind of rambles on for 30 minutes, right? He just kind of rambles about something for a really long time, and I don't know. It just feels like they went into this movie like they were making a music video, right? But the difference between a music video and a movie is because the plot in a music video isn't really that important, right? Unless you're like an artist that kind of incorporates stories into music videos, it doesn't really matter. And it doesn't even really have to correlate with the song all the time, all that much. Music videos are kind of there as, like, set dressing most of the time. So obviously, if you take a guy who's spent his whole career making music videos, and then he's like, I want to make a movie, of course, that movie isn't going to make any fucking sense, because he doesn't know how to make a proper story, or how to write proper dialogue. He doesn't know how to, direct feature-length films for shit, and that's not his fault, because he's never done it before, right? I'm not even, as I said, I'm not trying to shade him. I'm just saying, he probably should have gotten a competent director and writer to do this movie. But I think he was just so sure that it was great and everybody was going to like it. And it wasn't. It did get nominated for awards at the time. I think Best Costume Design at the AFI Awards in '89. Which, granted, the costumes are pretty good. But I think, as I said, the aesthetics are, like, the only genuinely decent part about it. And overall, I just think the film was not good, and I think it was just frustrating because it could have been something enjoyable. It could have been something fun, but I think it just they didn't have the abilities to make it what it could have been, if that makes sense. If I speak in professional talk, but overall, I would not recommend this movie under any circumstances. I think certainly I have seen other movies with like the 80s cheesy like action vibe that have been done better. And I think you should just look elsewhere for other movies like this, because I think you can certainly get movies like this that are well done in their own way. But with that being said, what would I rate this film? Well, it certainly isn't the worst movie I've ever seen. It certainly is not very good. So I think, I don't know if this is harsh or not. Nah, no, maybe that's too low. I think overall, I think I would rate this film a 3.5 out of 10. And yeah, I think that's what I'd say. Thank you for my piece. So guys, hope you like this video. Share with friends, subscribe, turn the notifications on, comment below if you liked it. And I've been Ryan HD, off to travel to the future. Off to travel to the future and stop the nuclear fallout. Nailed it. So, I was just saying, like, there was this character in the movie, and she was, like, I guess the main, like, love interest for the main character. She didn't really have much of a character because nobody in this movie really had a personality except for the guy that just laughed maniacally 90% of the time. But she had, like, I said she had, like, a documentary voice. Like, she sounded like she should have been on, like, National Geographic talking about asteroids or something. Like, she had a really, like, nice professional voice. She should have been doing, like, voiceovers and stuff. She had a nice voice. But that's base. She had a nice, that's my compliments. And she was trying. You know, I'll give her that. She was, for not being an actor, I think she did a little below average. I mean, she's better than other people who consider themselves actors, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's a bit of a backhanded compliment, but I guess it is what it is.